Hey there, web wizards in the making. Ready for another deep dive? Today we're tackling HTML, and we've got excerpts from htmltutorial.pdf to guide us. So, quick question. When you hear HTML, do you picture a black screen with green code raining down? Like in the Matrix?
It does have that whole mysterious aura, doesn't it?
Right. But honestly, HTML is way more down to earth than people think.
Absolutely. At its heart, HTML is about structure and meaning. It's less about complicated algorithms and more like, well, organizing your thoughts, just with a few special keystrokes.
Exactly. And our trusty htmltutorial.pdf spells it out. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. Basically, it's our way of telling web browsers like Chrome or Firefox how to display the content on a web page. It's kind of like, imagine building a house. HTML isn't the bricks or the mortar, it'd be the blueprint showing where everything goes.
That's a perfect analogy. And just like a blueprint makes sure a house is, stable and makes sense, HTML makes sure that web pages are structured in a way that's visually appealing and easy to understand, both for us humans and for those ever-important search engines.
Ah, search engines. Always got to keep them happy. But yeah, going back to those blueprints, HTML uses things called tags to mark up the content. They're like instructions for the browser telling it, hey, this is a heading or this is a paragraph, here's an image, all that good stuff.
You know what I find really cool? HTML wasn't originally meant for fancy websites or, cat videos. It actually started with scientists wanting to share their research papers online.
That's right.
Talk about a transformation from academic journals to the backbone of the internet. It really shows how a simple idea can take on a life of its own. And the reason HTML became so huge is because it's built on these open standards. Anyone can use it, learn it, build on it, no matter their tech skills. Pretty amazing when you think about it.
Okay, so we've got HTML. It's all about structure and uses these things called tags. But what do those tags actually look like, in the wild?
Right. Can't just be tags floating around in the void.
Exactly. Thankfully, our trusty htmltutorial.pdf has our back with a simple HTML document example.
It's a bit like getting a sneak peek behind the curtain, seeing how the website sausage gets made.
Love that analogy. So let's say we're building a web page from scratch. First tag up is the HTML tag.
It's like sending up a bat signal, but for web browsers. Hey, look, everyone, HTML's happening here.
Haha, I like it.
And every good web page needs a little organization behind the scenes. That's where the head tag struts in. It's got all this info about the web page, but it doesn't actually show up on the page itself.
Ooh, sneaky.
Yeah,
like what kind of info? Give me the juicy gossip.
Well, for starters, it holds the title of the page. What you see up in the browser tab. That's all thanks to the title tag.
Ah, so that's how they do it.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. It's like giving your web page a little name tag.
Exactly. And while the head is busy setting the stage, the body tag is where the real party's at. All the text, the images, those cat videos we were talking about, they all hang out within the body.
So it's like HTML is the foundation, head is backstage, getting everything prepped with its little title tag, and then body is where the show really starts.
You got it. And just like any language worth its salt, HTML has rules about how these tags all work together. But here's where things get really interesting. Remember how we were talking about semantic meaning?
Yeah.
Well, picking the right tags isn't just about making your website look pretty. It's about making sure it's understandable and, importantly, accessible.
Okay, now you've got my attention. Break that down for me. Why is semantic meaning so important?
Imagine you're reading an article online. Now, if the headings are tagged correctly, with H1, H2, and so on, it's not just easier on the eyes, it actually helps screen readers for people who are visually impaired understand the structure and the hierarchy of the content.
Oh, wow, I never thought about it like that. So it's about making the web work for everyone, not just those of us who can see perfectly.
Exactly. And it's not just about accessibility either.
Yeah.
Those search engines we talked about, Google, Bing, the whole gang, they rely on semantic HTML too. It helps them understand the context of your content and figure out how relevant it is to what people are searching for.
So it's like using the right tags is speaking both human and robot language at the same time.
You could say that.
Who knew HTML had so much power?
It's all about thoughtful design, really. And when it's done right, it makes the whole web a better experience for everyone.
Okay, so we've nailed down the basic structure and the whole semantic meaning thing. But let's be honest, we want our web pages to look amazing too. That's where formatting comes in, right? You know it. We've got the bones of our web page. But now it's time to add some, some spice. And htmltutorial.pdf actually gives us some cool tags for text formatting.
It's like, after you arrange the furniture, then comes the fun part. Throw those accent pillows on, hang up some art, really make it feel like you.
Exactly. And HTML makes it so easy. Want to emphasize a key point? Bam. Wrap it in those B tags, make it bold, boom.
Yeah.
Or maybe you want to be a little fancy, a little sophisticated. The I tag for italics has got your back.
Oh, and don't forget about the good old underline, courtesy of the U tag.
Yeah.
Classic. Although, maybe go easy on that one. Too much underlining can be a bit much, you know.
Totally. Like that friend who only texts in all CKPS. It's like, we get it, you're excited.
Yeah.
Sometimes a little subtlety is key.
For sure.
Speaking of subtlety, did you know HTML even lets you do the whole strike-through thing, the strike tag?
Oh, yeah, that one's super handy.
Right.
Especially when you want to show changes in a document or, you know, just for a little comedic effect.
Okay, I have to admit, seeing that strike-through always makes me chuckle. It's like the digital version of crossing something off your to-do list, but so much more satisfying.
Totally. And what's cool is, unlike, remember, word art,
Oh, yeah.
total visual chaos, HTML formatting is about enhancing the meaning, the readability of your content,
Yeah.
not just making it flashy.
It's like the difference between a neon sign in your face and a spotlight highlighting a beautiful painting.
Exactly. Now, moving beyond the stuff we see on a web page, remember how we talked about those hidden gems working behind the scenes?
You mean like the meta tag and all its SEO superpowers? Don't hold out on me. Tell me more.
Oh, all right. So our source talks about using the meta tag to add keywords and descriptions that aren't visible to us, but that help search engines understand what your page is all about.
So it's like you've got this secret handshake with Google going on.
Basically.
So like if I have a website all about, say, vintage video games, I could use the meta tag to slip in keywords like Atari, Pac-Man, retro gaming, all that jazz.
Exactly. You're basically saying, hey, search engine, if anyone's looking for info on this, this page is where it's at.
That is so clever. It's like this whole behind-the-scenes code that unlocks, like, better visibility online.
Right. It just shows how the web is so multi-layered. What we see on the surface is only half the story, really. There's this whole world of code working away to make it all work.
And on that note, we've reached the end of our HTML deep dive. We started with the basic building blocks, those tags and elements, explored the power of semantic meaning, add a little flair with formatting, and even uncovered the secrets of those sneaky meta tags and their SEO magic.
Ooh.
From humble beginnings as a tool for researchers to the universal language of the web, we've seen how HTML shapes our online experiences in more ways than we can count.
It's true. So next time you're browsing online, take a second to appreciate all that elegant code making it happen. It's a powerful language, yet surprisingly accessible, always evolving, but always rooted in those core principles of structure and meaning.
And just like with any language, the more you learn about HTML, the more you can do with it.
Couldn't agree more. Who knows, maybe you'll be inspired to create your own little corner of the web. Use the power of HTML to share your ideas, your passions, or even just pictures of your adorable pet hamster with the world. The possibilities are endless. Until next time, happy coding!